This is my discussion slash review for Found episode 10, titled Missing While Indoctrinated. And I just gotta be 100%. There was a twist this episode, and oh my gosh, let's talk about it. Headed out for change, I just started on my quest. Yeah, the world will know my name, I'm excited, I'm obsessed. No one in my way but myself and a test. Yeah, I will be the best, yeah, I will be the best. Life is just a game, I'll be playing till I rest. I'll be there to claim my own spot among the best. This episode was so great. I'm sorry I'm late, but I am back, and let's just dive into this because this episode was good, man, and I really, really loved it. Now, we see at the ending of episode 9, we see that Gabby gets the call that Tony has awoken from his coma, and this episode jumps right into her rushing to the hospital to see him, and his father's having his whole chip on his shoulder. And I get it, your son was shot, she promised to take care of him, and things just didn't go your way. But it's understandable from his perspective. Now, Gabby's there to protect Tony because the police are going to arrest him because they see him as a victim. Well, a victimizer, not a victim, because he did kidnap the kid. So regardless whether he was groomed or not, the police don't care about the big picture. They care about arresting him because, oh, he's terrorizing kids, you know what I'm saying? And Gabby didn't see it that way. Gabby saw Tony as a victim because she tried to help him in the very beginning, but it just went awry. Now, this episode, it showcased a lot of stuff, in my opinion. It showcased the goodness of humanity, some of the downfalls of humanity, you know what I'm saying? Because there's some good people out there in the world, and then there's just some demons and some devils, and it is what it is, man. And in this episode, we got to see those devils, but we also got to see some of those angels as well, man. Tony is being arrested, and Gabby's trying to fight for him, but Gabby and them have their own problem. They're having to deal with the fact that all the stuff that happened with the social media chick and her dying is now coming back to bite them because they're close to losing their PI license. Now, I can still see Gabby and them operating without license because, they break the law a little bit here and there, but with them not having a license, I feel like it'd make things so much harder than it already is. So they have to really keep their license. But we know that the captain has had it out for Gabby since the very beginning, man. And the chick dying was just the icing on the cake for him to go after Gabby and her PI license. Now, when I'm talking about the goodness of humanity, Tony is there with Gabby and everything, and Gabby's fighting for him, but Tony doesn't really want to help. He blames her for him getting shot and everything. But I also kind of feel like Tony was like, yeah, I got shot, but I know who shot me, so I'm gonna go after them. You ain't gotta help me, Gabby. I'm gonna handle this on my own. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he knew everything. He just didn't want to spill the beans. But we see Tony escaping from Mosley and Associates, but we also see him going on his redemption tour to apologize. He called his mom. He went to apologize to the kid he kidnapped, and I feel like him doing all this, that was one of the good parts of the episode. Him going around apologizing, trying to make up for himself, because he done wrong. But like I said, he was a victim himself, and we see him doing this apologizing tour. But his mom, man, I feel like his mom is one of those demons, in my opinion, man, because we get all this whole little mini backstory about her being afraid of her son and trying to protect her other two kids and everything. I totally get that. Technically, yeah, your son is a little bit dangerous and you could be afraid of your other kids. I get it. But at the same time, this dude is still your son. And this guy was messed up because you guys got divorced and then somebody preyed on his innocence. So my thing is, you got to look at it like this. You could help him at the same time. And even when she was talking to Gabby and her and Gabby was having this whole little dialogue with Gabby writing the notes down, and then she turns on this kid, was like, well, can I come stay with you, Mom? No, you can't. I have two other kids to protect, but I'm working with Mosley and Associates, so don't turn yourself in. Girl, there's somebody literally trying to kill your son, but all of a sudden now you decide to care? Man, this chick is garbage. And you see her at the end of the episode, like, oh, Tony, you're okay. He could have been a whole lot better had you helped him from the beginning. But I guarantee you, their whole reason for divorcing was the mother's fault. I'm willing to bet money. I bet $100 that she was the reason they divorced. But anyway, I digress. This episode also has some similarities between Gabby and Tony. But boy, there was a huge twist. You guys know that. But the similarities is redonkulous, man, because you got to look at it like this. We see Gabby in the house, and then we come in contact with somebody knocking on the door and everything. We find out the chick that was knocking on the door with the ribbon is Annie. Now we find that out at the end of the episode, but we also learned that the similarities that's going on with Gabby and Tony plays out throughout the entire episode, but they're so intertwined. Like, we knew about a lot of this going forward throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? We knew that after all the flashbacks and stuff, that a lot of the cases had a lot of similarity with Gabby, but this one hit the nail on the head, man. We see Gabby at school. We see Gabby at a locker. We see that Sir was one of Gabby's freaking teachers. And Annie went to, oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole parallel to everything, bruh. But I do think that Sir, I don't think he killed Annie. He might have got her to shut up, or Annie might have been working with him or something. I don't know what the whole ordeal is. I don't think Annie is dead. I guarantee you she's not dead yet. But anyway, man, like, we see a lot of stuff going down this episode, man. We see that the twist was it was the freaking principal. The principal and one of the freaking students. And this dude, he's all over. He's all wrapped up in it. Like, this man is playing the long game. Like, he's tricking Gabby and everybody and everything, but then find out that he's the one, well, one of the ringleaders. But the principal, bruh. And that's what I mean about the devils, man. You gotta be real, bruh. Like, there were just so many moving pieces in the episode, but like I said, there were so many great parts as well. You have the two mothers having the heart-to-heart where the kid's mother is telling Tony's mother that, you know, she forgave Tony for kidnapping her son, and she forgave Tony for herself, but just not. That's the goodness of humanity, man. It was just such a great part. And we see that Tony went out to get revenge. Tony wasn't playing no more because, to be fair, I'm with Tony. This dude shot me, so, you know, let me shoot him and let me wing him at least. It'll make me feel better. You know what I'm saying? Because this man was playing the long game. And the sad thing is, after all this whole debacle, he was still kidnapping kids. That's the sad part. And the principal's come around here, oh, well, sure, I'll help you guys. And the principal, man. And then she tried to make it seem like it was like this whole big ordeal. It was like, well, I'm doing it because these kids were a stain on society. But the money show didn't hurt, did it? You took that, didn't you? Bruh, the episode was great, man. And I feel like with all that stuff going on with the whole overall story and Tony and Gabby having that parallel, and to be fair, we didn't really see Sir a lot this episode. We saw him maybe like 3 times, but he really wasn't pivotal in this episode because, like I said, you know, the similarities, because it kind of pulled Gabby away from him, and it was kind of time sensitive, but also because he doesn't really see Tony as a victim, but in his mind, you know, well, we all know Sir's a little crazy. But I did love the fact that Margaret decided to go to the bus station an hour later because her therapist suggested it to help ease in the transition instead of just not going in general, because I don't think she could do that, but just change the time that you go. You know what I'm saying? And we got introduced to Zeke's father this episode, and we got a lot more about Zeke's backstory, about what actually happened to him. We learned the street that he was kidnapped on, which was Bennett, and we learned that he was like, we knew he was kidnapped, but we didn't really have that actual confirmation, you know what I'm saying? So it was nice to get that confirmation, but we see him and his father has this strained relationship because he was kidnapped, and they haven't quite found their way back to each other. But this episode really showcased them having a brief connection, no matter how small it is, because he helped Mosley and Associates get back the PI license. So it's nice to see that dynamic, because we hadn't really got a lot of stuff about Zeke or Don, you know what I'm saying? We got a little bit, but we hadn't got enough to really matter. And I feel like this episode highlighted a lot for Zeke anyway. But they wrapped up the whole case, man. We found out that it was the principal. They still rescued 3 kids. And I loved how they had Tony's picture with the other 3 kids that they saved. And we see that Trent, this episode, man, I feel like Trent didn't get his badge back because he felt guilty, because him calling in the cavalry also hurt Gabby, and kind of also maybe possibly led to the chick dying a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So Trent kind of felt guilty. I feel like that's why he hadn't went for his badge back. But at the ending of the episode, we see Gabby kind of telling him, hey, you're one of the good ones. You need to get your badge back. And also, that's just who you are. You know what I'm saying? You're meant to be a cop, you know? So it's nice to see Trent back in that dynamic instead of, I like Trent on the team, but I like Trent better as Trent being the detective. You know what I'm saying? I really love that you can see the goodness and humanity in this episode, man. All the kids tweeting out hashtag I am Tony, you know, the mother forgiving Tony as well. You know, it just restores your faith in humanity, man. Although it's a fictional story, but it was such a great moment for you to feel something, man. And that's just great writing on every level. And I have no qualms about it. This is what it's incredible. Don't forget to smash the like button too. You can't smash any more. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them and subscribe. Peace out.
Cause I've been working a lot. I think I deserve a shot. I think I deserve a spot. Cause it's been years on this path that I walked. And if I keep going, I pray I'll be at the top.